for a number of years, I saw these new researchers coming through and thought, that's great. As we all realise, we need to make sure that as people retire and leave, we've got people coming through to fill the gap. But it sort of crystallised to me at the AFAC conference in Sydney 4 years ago, I think now, where I had the pleasure of being in a session with some of the bushfire CRC students, and just the enthusiasm, the raw energy, the sort of untainted views. They hadn't been sort of flogged around the head by industry for too long, so they came with all this eagerness and keenness that was just so exciting. After you walked out, it sort of put goosebumps on your arms that they were really taking it on, and they believed in what they were doing, and they could see that they were making a difference in the industry. And I thought after that we're in a pretty good situation with this.
Planned fire management around risk instead of around hectares is a radical new approach, and we're actually working out a methodology for that, which is we need to publish because I think it's pretty much world first, a lot of it, and Jamie will probably take a lead role in some of that writing up too.
And you can see the fire moving through the landscape through grassland and then reaching the forested estate in Wiperfield National Park. And then the characteristics of the fire behaviour changes quite dramatically, where we actually get a lot of spotting, slows down the forward rate of spread, but you've got an increase in intensity of that fire.
It's an emerging field, and being in bushfire modelling, that's CRC has got a lot of work around that. So they come basically out of that program pretty much skilled up to do this sort of work, whereas your general PhD student out there would probably have a much broader but less specialised range, so they wouldn't be suitable for a job like this.
In my studies at the University of Western Australia, we had a really close relationship with DEC in Western Australia. There was a lot of help in terms of understanding fire behaviour, and we had a really good partnership with DEC that really helped us to be able to make the research really focused around the issues that DEC were dealing with in terms of managing fire. Right through my studies, I'd always hoped to end up working for one of the government departments, and at that stage probably DEC over in Western Australia. But I had a great opportunity to come across here to Victoria and work for DEPI, and to be able to take my research, or the work that I'd done in research in Western Australia, and bring those tools and that approach here to Victoria to help with the issues of climate change at that stage, but also broadly into fire management, has been really valuable.
I think that the student program's probably been one of the most valuable outputs of the CRC. The fact that there's now a whole new generation of PhDs that have started their research life or done a significant part of their research in fire is absolutely critical for the way in which we go forward.
Well, if we looked right at the start of what are the big ticket items which we wanted to address when we started the bushfire CRC, and we look at how we have addressed them over the time, and that's been really wonderful. That's not really the measure of success. The measure of success has been the cultural change within the industry, the fact that the industry is now really honestly desires to have sound scientific knowledge to back them up on where they're going, and that cultural change, the fact that that desire is there, will go on while we've now built up the capacity within the agencies and the universities and research organisations. So we will have that there. It's that way of approaching issues. That's more important than actually addressing a single issue.
It's not just the research, it's about the people that have actually contributed, grown, interacted, and the discussion has been absolutely critical. So a decade of firm direction, leadership, commitment, investment, but the people have been great. And I think that's one of the things that sometimes we don't count to what we've built.